The foreign ministers of South Korea and Japan have met in the U.S. on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly for the first time in 4 months. They discussed the North Korean nuclear issue and export restrictions.
South Korea's Minister of Foreign Affairs Chung Eui-yong and his Japanese counterpart Toshimitsu Motegi held a 50-minute meeting in New York on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. They met for the first time since the G7 meeting in London back in May. The South Korean foreign minister emphasized the importance of inter-Korean dialogue, engagement, and cooperation in order to solve the North Korean nuclear issue. The Japanese foreign minister pledged cooperation to achieve substantial progress in the establishment of lasting peace on the Korean peninsula. The two also discussed Japan's wartime forced labor and sexual slavery, as well as export restrictions. South Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says Chung Eui-yong offered Japan to work together on resolving past issues and urged Tokyo to withdraw its export restrictions as soon as possible. The Japanese foreign minister, for his part, urged Seoul to take appropriate measures on the issue of compensation for wartime forced labor and sexual slavery. South Korea expressed opposition to the release of radioactive water from the Fukushima nuclear plant, whereas Japan reiterated it has no intention to scrap the plant. The meeting has once again highlighted only the differences between the two nations' contrasting stance and the existing hurdles in narrowing them. On Thursday, the top diplomat of South Korea held a bilateral meeting with the U.S. counterpart and a trilateral meeting with the top diplomats of the United States and Japan. Topping the agenda was the North Korean nuclear issue. Seoul says South Korea, the U.S., and Japan have agreed to bolster cooperation, achieving substantial progress in the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula and the establishment of lasting peace. They also exchanged opinions on Afghanistan and Myanmar and pledged to find ways to cooperate on climate change and public health.